Welcome everyone to the NLC version 5.2 Draft 1 Technical Requirements webinar. Before we jump into everything today, I'm going to take care of a little housekeeping. So just so you know, the slides and the recording will be posted later today on the DLC News and Events page. And if you didn't pick it up from that lengthy message, all attendees are automatically muted. But of course, we still want to be able to hear from you. So we will be answering questions that you can submit through the question pane. So if you look in the top right of your screen, you'll see a few symbols. The question pane is accessed with the speech bubble with the question mark in it. You can see the arrow pointing to it there. Please note that this is distinct from the chat pane, which is the two speech bubbles. And so we will not be using the chat pane today. So submit any questions to the question pane. Thank you. For those of you joining us for the first time, the Design Lights Consortium is an independent nonprofit organization. We provide decision makers with the data and resources on quality lighting controls and integrated building systems to reduce energy, carbon, and light pollution. So here is the agenda for today. After we get done with the introductions, we're going to jump right into the updates in version 5.2. The document had a little bit of a reorganization, so we'll go over that. We're going to talk about the DLC Summit later this year. Then we're going to do a little review and make sure you know how to submit the comments before we get into the Q&A. And don't be shy about submitting questions because the presentation should take less than an hour today, and we have an hour and a half set aside for the whole webinar. So we will have plenty of time for questions. So keep them coming throughout the webinar. Here's a look at the presenters today. We have Levin Nock, Jason Jeanette, Bhagwat Mohan will be coming in during the question and answers. And then there is me. I'm helping with some of the logistics. So by the end of the webinar today, we hope you will understand the timeline for the update, how to get around the document, what the new requirements are, and how to submit comments. So let's take a look at that timeline. We're right here on April 8th, having the webinar. We're 2 weeks into the 6-week public comment period. So comments are due on May 8th. Then we're going to take some time to review those, do some outreach to people who submitted comments before we release the final version on June 22nd. And one thing to note is that there is only we're only planning on doing one draft of these due to the smaller scope of the updates. So we're going to go right from this draft to the final. So your questions or your comments will be incredibly helpful to us. So we'll have another webinar on those on the final version on July 8th, and we're going to begin accepting applications the beginning of August on the 3rd. So now I'm going to hand things off to Levin, who will take us through some of the updates.
Thanks, Andrew. Over the past few years, the DLC has been exploring how interoperability in network lighting controls can enhance energy savings. This year, we're focusing on thermostats that can easily receive occupancy data from lighting control systems. I'll start with the reason why we're doing this. Fundamentally, the DLC helps energy efficiency programs for commercial lighting incentivize the supply chain for energy efficient LED lighting and lighting controls to deliver energy savings. So we're very interested in what the future looks like for commercial lighting incentive programs. Incentives are declining for tubular LEDs and for simple LED retrofits without any lighting controls. At the same time, lighting retrofits that include luminaire level lighting controls offer an opportunity next for commercial lighting incentive programs to continue saving energy for years to come, especially in projects where the new LLLC system can provide occupancy data in HVAC controls for even deeper energy savings. In suitable buildings, occupancy data from a lighting control network can inform the thermostat or building automation system to relax the temperature set points by a few degrees whenever an area is unoccupied. This is called occupied standby mode in building energy codes. It relies on real-time occupancy data that's available to very few existing HVAC systems today. If you have an existing building with variable occupancy patterns and you want to add occupancy control to save HVAC energy, then a lighting retrofit project offers a great opportunity to install light fixtures with occupancy sensors already built in and networked wirelessly and powered by the same circuit that powers the lights. All those sensors get conveniently installed in the ceiling of practically every space in your building that's ever occupied. Most buildings today that save energy with occupied standby mode are large buildings with a building automation system, while a few smaller buildings, such as hotels, can use hardwired dry contact switches. But now, digital thermostats are available to bring programmable occupied standby mode to more small buildings without a building automation system. Today's commercial buildings use more than half of their energy for HVAC and about 10% for lighting. In suitable buildings, a lighting retrofit with lighting HVAC integration can save over 20% of the whole building energy load between new LED lights plus lighting controls plus HVAC savings. With this update of the technical requirements, we want to showcase products that can help achieve energy savings like this, especially in smaller buildings without a building automation system. That was background context about the DLC's interest in lighting control systems that work with HVAC control systems. Next, we'll see how NLC integrated thermostats will be added to the network lighting control qualified products list. We're adding thermostats to the qualified products list to accomplish these things. First, we want to help efficiency programs and their customers match thermostat A with LLC B confidently to increase chances of successful lighting HVAC integration. They'll be able to find on the NLC QPL a control system that integrates easily with a particular thermostat. Beyond that, they can even identify a particular LLC luminaire model number on the solid state lighting QPL based on recent updates to control categories. Second, efficiency programs will be able to use the list to support incentives that already exist. They can also use the list to plan research to collect data about energy savings to develop new incentives. And of course, the overall goal is to support deeper energy savings from retrofit projects. We know of only a few thermostat models that will qualify at first, so we're not trying to make a separate list of thermostats. A thermostat will be listed as a feature of the NLC system that it integrates easily with. For example, here's the top level view of the network lighting controls qualified product list. If you select an NLC system such as True Blue, then you get a pop-up window showing all the system capabilities with green check marks beside the capabilities supported by this particular system. To see more details about a capability such as external systems integration, you can click on it. And then you see an accordion menu with more details. The thermostat information will be here as one aspect of external systems integration. Back on the top level view of multiple systems, we'll probably also add a filter to help you find NLC systems with thermostats, although that's not certain yet. Anyway, here's the new text in the technical requirements, making space for thermostats that can be easily integrated with NLC systems. The key here is easily. In a large enough building with a large enough budget, a talented integrator can probably figure out some way to connect a wide variety of NLC systems with one of many different thermostats. That's not what we're talking about. The goal of this requirement is to find particular pairs of an NLC system model paired with a thermostat model where somebody has already done the hard work of programming the integration. To figure out a practical definition of the phrase easily integrated, we convened a working group in January and February with interested parties from several different perspectives, as shown here. I want to extend many thanks to everyone who participated. Based on their support, we were able to propose a table of questions that are in this draft to be refined further with your comments. So here's a group of 4 questions designed to determine whether a particular thermostat can be easily integrated with a particular NLC system. The answers to all these questions need to be yes in order for a thermostat to be included on the DLC list. So, going through them, first of all, does the thermostat receive and respond to digital occupied, unoccupied data by changing temperature set points and fan control? That's the most important one. But also, can thermostat NLC integration be configured by graphical user interface without writing code? Also, can the thermostat be configured by GUI to subscribe to occupancy data from multiple occupancy sensors? That's one of the joys of having the digital networking available is that you can choose which sensors it subscribes to. And finally, can the GUI display zones for lighting and for HVAC together overlaid on a single floor plan so that, again, it's easy to relate the zones between the lighting and the HVAC. So here are some additional questions to gather information about the thermostats. This information is intended to support incentive program design and research. For instance, can the thermostat receive data for partial occupancy and respond appropriately? Does the integration require a gateway, etc.? And so we'll be reporting any answers okay for these, but we'll just report what the answer is. And so when you're reviewing the draft technical requirement, you are welcome to comment on any of the changes highlighted. In addition, we've included these 3 key questions where we particularly want feedback. Regarding row 3 of table TH1 asks, can thermostat NLC integration be configured by GUI without writing code? The intent of the language without writing code is to separate systems that can be easily integrated on site by the installing contractor versus systems that require advanced customization by a third-party integrator or factory representative. Is the current language without writing code sufficiently clear, or is there other language that could indicate this distinction in a better way? The next question regarding row 5 of table TH1 asks, can the graphical user interface display zones for lighting and for HVAC together overlaid on a single floor plan? The intent of the question is to speak to the ease of use of the GUI and whether a user can interact with the GUI in an intuitive manner without receiving technical training. Is the current language sufficiently clear, or is there a less prescriptive way to specify the desired result? That lighting and HVAC zones can be easily matched with the graphical user interface in a manner that can be unambiguously confirmed or denied by the person filling out the application and also the DLC reviewer checking the application. And the third key question is similar to that first question, which was about describing the ease of configuring a thermostat to receive occupancy data from a lighting control system. This third key question asks about the ease of configuring a thermostat to receive additional data from a lighting control system beyond just occupancy without writing code. Is the current language without writing code sufficiently clear, or is there other language that could indicate this distinction in a better way? While I'm discussing HVAC integration, I wanted to include a brief mention of the NLC HVAC integration toolkit that DLC developed last year. It's mainly designed for large integration projects with building automation systems, but some of the information is also helpful for smaller projects with thermostats. The collection of documents can be freely downloaded at the designlights.org webpage for lighting HVAC integration. The toolkit will help decision makers choose appropriate projects for integration that are likely to save energy at a reasonable price. They will help everyone on an integration project work together more effectively to create successful projects that save energy. The toolkit consists of 5 documents in a zip file. First is the handbook, a concise reference manual to help people communicate between silos from the lighting, the world of lighting and the world of HVAC. Next is the decision tree, a guide to choosing appropriate projects and avoiding projects where energy savings are unlikely. For thermostat projects, this decision tree is probably the most valuable part of the toolkit to choose which buildings are good candidates. And also there's a spreadsheet summary of 18 integration case studies, including lessons learned, and also documents 4 and 5 document an example project to specify who is responsible for what. One more mention about the decision tree. The decision tree has 7 topics to consider when deciding whether to pursue NLC HVAC integration on a project. It applies to buildings of all sizes, except that when it was published a year ago, the new thermostats that work with LLLC were not yet available. And we have not yet updated the toolkit except here in this slide. For more details about any of the questions in the diagram, you can click on a color-coded topic number in the diagram to navigate to a PDF page of text about that particular topic. And the 18 case studies include these 7 different types of buildings that come in large and small sizes both. Most of them do. So most projects in the case studies were large buildings using either BACnet or Power over Ethernet. New thermostats offer new opportunities in smaller buildings of these same types, but the energy savings numbers in small spaces are not as well documented yet. As I mentioned, you can download it at the designlights.org webpage for lighting HVAC integration, and you can find it with this QR code or by searching online for NLC HVAC integration toolkit. And now over to Jason.
Levin. As you may have heard, ANSI released a standard for NLC configuration reports just about a year ago. Next slide, please. So one of the barriers to incentivizing network lighting control systems is that control savings are difficult to verify. In many cases, they're dependent on occupancy patterns, daylight availability, adherence to schedules, user behavior, and all that. The bottom line is that unlike LED lighting, controls installation alone is not evidence of savings. So to solve this problem, the industry and utilities came together and developed the ANSI C137.9 Indoor Network Lighting Control Systems Configuration Report standard. This standard covers a bunch of things. It was written with and for energy efficiency programs to ensure alignment with their needs. It provides standardized NLC configuration information. So there's a high-level overview of how a specific network lighting control system is installed at a specific installation. These reports are generated by the NLC system, thereby avoiding data entry issues or fudging. And the idea is that once these reports are generated, they are submitted to the efficiency program to verify configuration. One caveat is that these reports are not energy use data. This is configuration information, not energy data. Going through a sample report kind of very specifically, each report contains a header section that has information about the system manufacturer, the name of the system, the name of the project, and when the report was generated. After that, the report is split into 4 sections. The first section is spaces, which includes the ASHRAE 90.1 space type and the number of areas in that building that are of that space type. Then they have the quantity of luminaires, both total quantity controlled and the number of those luminaires that are LLLC. So they have both a network controller and sensors on board. The next section goes over the configuration of those luminaires, covering daylight harvesting, scheduling, occupancy sensing, of both manual and auto on, the sensor timeout, and the high-end trib level. And the last section covers the watts controlled, covering both measured or user input values for that. So some systems are capable of measuring the watts that are flowing through them. Others need to do a calculation based on an entry, a data entry. But the watts controlled section includes both the total connected load and then the effective connected load after high-end trim is applied, and the proportion of those luminaires that have occupant sensing or daylight harvesting enabled. So the way this works in an actual installation is in this particular installation, there is a conference room. That conference room has 5 luminaires, none of which have sensors on board, that do not have daylight harvesting enabled. They do have scheduling enabled, they have occupancy sensing enabled, they have a manual on and with a timeout to 10 minutes and a high-end trim of 85%. Those 5 luminaires together pull 212 watts or 180 watts approximately after high-end trim is applied. Also in this building, in the same conference room, there are 12 luminaires that do have sensors on board. Those luminaires all have daylight harvesting enabled, the same scheduling, sensing, and timeout and high-end trim settings as the previous row. And those 12 luminaires collectively pull a little over 500 watts. Once you apply high-end trim, that effective load is 430 watts approximately. So the building, the report goes down for all the space types in the building at the same manner. And then at the bottom, where appropriate, there are total columns. So we can get the total connected load for this system and the total connected load after high-end trim is applied, as well as the total number of luminaires connected and controlled by the system and the number of LLC luminaires. So for the NLC QPL, the plan right now is we are reporting whether or not a system is capable of generating these reports as a reported capability in version 5.2. In a future TR version, somewhere down the line, we were going to make the generation of C137.9 compliant reports a required capability, but that is down the road a little ways. As of now, we don't know of any systems that are capable of performing this, so the market is wide open for a first mover. But we do have a utility in Wisconsin focused on energy is offering a $500 incentive per report submitted to them in 2026. So that is up and running, so get on it. Moving on to the organization of the TR, we consolidated a few tables to make things a little bit easier to read. For requirements and capabilities for indoor lighting systems, we combined tables 1 and 1.1 into a single table. So you'll see all these here. We did the same thing for requirements for outdoor lighting systems. So tables 2 and 2.1 are combined into table 2. And then we took table 3, which is the definitions and capabilities of these capabilities and requirements, and converted that to paragraph form to make it a little bit easier to read. And I'm going to pass it on to Andrew, who's going to talk about the summit.
Thank you very much, Jason. Yeah, we want to take a few minutes to talk about the DLC Summit happening later this year, called Next Gen Lighting. And as you can see, it's focused on controls, integration, and the environment. So we think this is a pretty good crowd to talk about this with. We're going to LA this year, and it is in the end of October, October 26th and 27th. First of all, thank you so much to our hosts. DLC member program, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power is hosting us, and so we wouldn't be able to do this without them. So big thanks there. We've got a great venue for the summit. We're at the California Endowment Center. This is right in downtown LA. A beautiful building, and it's actually only hosts nonprofit events. So it is funded in a way that it's meant for only organizations that have help the health of all Californians. And so energy efficiency is certainly one of those ways. So we're honored to be allowed to present here. The hotel block we have is also in downtown LA. We have a block at the Doubletree. As you can see, it's got a beautiful rooftop Japanese garden, view of the skyline, and we've secured the room block for $174 a night, which is actually a great deal. So if you're thinking of coming, we recommend getting one of these rooms sooner than later. If you end up booking closer to the event and the room block is used up, the prices are going to be about double that, depending. And because the hotel is right downtown, there will be a lot of attractions if you want to extend your stay on either end. So it is right in Little Tokyo. Lots of great dining options in that area. We're just a few blocks from Union Station, which besides being a beautiful building, also has metro line, so it'll be easy to get there from the airport. We'll be near to the Museum of Contemporary Art. And also, if your rooftop garden wasn't enough, there's the James Irvine Japanese Gardens, expansive gardens right in downtown. And I put the Bradbury Building on there. There are lots of movie landmarks, and this is one of the closest ones to the building. So if you're a movie buff, you might recognize this from movies like Blade Runner or Chinatown. So plenty of landmarks if you feel like doing a screen tour. But it's not all about the location. This is a really valuable summit to attend. We're taking a panelist format this year instead of traditional presentations. So we're getting experts from all across the industry to share their knowledge. And it's not just about talking about issues, it's about solving challenges that programs are really facing. And we hope that you're going to walk away from this summit with some insights that you're going to bring home to discuss with your organizations. And we know that it's a big trip out there, so we want to make sure there's time for networking with your colleagues. So we've set aside time for that specifically. So let's take a look at the agenda just on a high level. So day one, it's a half day, give you time to travel. There's going to be a session called Lighting Programs 201 for industry partners. So this happens in the mid-afternoon. And it's a primer for the following day. So we want you to understand the challenges that energy efficiency programs are facing so you can understand the solutions that we're trying to build. We're going to teach you some of the terminology that you're going to encounter during the following day, and we're going to help you get up to speed on the design of the summit. Later on first day, on the 26th, we're going to have a tour and mixer at the La Cretz Innovation Campus. So the La Cretz is a joint venture between the City of Los Angeles and our hosts, LADWP. It is actually an active incubator for startups focusing on energy efficiency, renewable, electric vehicle infrastructure. So it is right on the money for this type of summit. And it's not just a place where people come up with ideas, it's a true prototyping facility. So there's 3D printing, there's chemical and electrical labs, there's CNC machines. It's an active place. Also, it's an art gallery, so the tour is it's really going to be eye-opening. And after that, there's going to be drinks and some food for everyone. And so we wouldn't be able to do this without our member, LADWP. So really excited that we have this opportunity. Day two is the day of the main sessions. So as you can see, the heavy focus on controls. So I'm not going to go through these in too much detail yet, but one thing I want to note is that we also have some concurrent sessions. So when you're registering, there will be a place where you can indicate your interest. So we hope that when you register, you take a look at that. And all of these sessions culminate in the afternoon session, which will be a working session where we get together, take what we learned throughout the day, and to actually try to develop some solutions. So keep your eyes out for more information about some of the specifics of the summit and who we're bringing in as panelists. And I also want to mention that there are some sponsorship opportunities if you want to get your brand out there in front of this wide array of industry folks. So it's not just sponsoring the summit in a blanket way. We're offering ways to sponsor specific elements of the summit. So you can sponsor a signature cocktail, you can sponsor the coffee breaks, you can sponsor a session itself, a specific meal, and there's a lot more. So I think we're going to share a link to a PDF that has more information on that. Some of these sponsorship options also come with speaking opportunities. So not just signage everywhere, there will be plenty of signage, but if you choose certain sponsorship levels, you will be able to get up there at the beginning of a session or the mixer and have a few minutes to talk about your brand. And we're not just promoting you during the summit. You will be part of your general summit promotion, so you can look for co-promotions on all the DLC channels. All right, so we threw a lot of information at you, so I'm just gonna make sure that we review some of the important pieces so you can be sure to participate in this drafting process. So again, we're here in the beginning of April, 2 weeks into the 6-week public comment period, which ends on May 8th. So we'll be sure to get your comments in by then, and we're aiming to have the final release by June 22nd so that we can begin accepting applications in the beginning of August. So you can download right now the technical requirements and the comment form. We'll share this link on the screen in the chat. And be sure to mind that the comment form is the only way to submit comments on this draft. So if you want to officially share your point of view, then you download this comment form, fill it out. It's an Excel spreadsheet, and submit it to comments@designlights.org. So we have plenty of time left for this Q&A. We flew through our content. So I'm going to turn things over to Bhagwat, and I hope that we have some questions in the queue.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, we have started receiving questions and more coming in. So let's get started right away. This one's for you, Levin. Is advanced dimming discussed in this technical requirements? Dwell time, last gasp, etc.
I'm not sure exactly how to answer that. I'm going to ask Jason. I think it's asking about the details. I mean, the main place that I can think where the details about dimming configuration show up is in the C137.9 report. Beyond that, Jason, do you have any other thoughts about this question?
Not really. I don't totally understand it. In my experience, dwell time has been associated with sensors more than dimming, and I'm not sure what last gasp is. So I think we'll have to follow up with the submitter on this one.
Thanks.
That's good. Thanks.
I'm guessing last gasp. Yeah, but I'm just guessing. I don't know either. So yeah, we'll follow up.
We have another one. This one's for you, Levin, again. If a system allows users to match lighting and HVAC zones intuitively, but not through a overlaid floor plan, would that still meet the intent?
So yes, it would. And so if you know a different way to match up the lighting and HVAC zones, that's really easy. That's the key point. If you know a different way to do that, then please propose some language that would include your alternative method. We'd rather not be prescriptive, but we need to describe easily in some way. So
Thank
yes,
you.
it would meet the intent, and please, we just need some language to make room for it.
All right. We got one more. How should manufacturers interpret without writing code if their system requires initial setup by a certified integrator but no ongoing programming?
So the goal here is that installation and configuration is really easy. So if a setup requires a certified integrator or a factory representative, then that's probably not the kind of product we're looking for. Yeah, and if there's a more clear way to say without writing code, we're open to suggestions. But the goal is that it's really easy. If someone can install the lights and install the thermostat, then they can run the configuration app and get the system up and running.
Thank you. Shifting gears slightly, This one's for you, Andrew. How much does the summit cost?
Sounds like we got a potential taker. The summit is on early bird pricing right now, so it is $600 for a ticket, and it's going to go up. I think I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but it's in July, so it'll go up to 750 then. So pays to book early if you can.
Along those lines, is there a limit to how many people from my company that can attend the summit?
Oh yeah, typically we limit this to just 2 per organization, and that includes our member organizations, and that's to make sure we have as much diversity represented at the summit as possible.
Thank you.
Throw me some hard ones,
Look-
Bagua. Come on.
Yeah, looks like we're getting some in the question pane.
Yeah, we have one more. The question asks what data can be transferred. Is this asking about the maximum capability of the system or only what is enabled by default out of the box?
It's about what can be enabled easily by the installation contractor on site. So it's not necessarily default. It could, it might be slightly more, take more work than just the default out of the box, but it doesn't mean someone sitting down and writing advanced code that a factory representative would need to do.
I'll give it a moment in case anyone is drafting a
Yeah,
question.
yeah. If you check your question, if you check the scroll box, we're getting some more. You may need to scroll up, Bhagwat.
Yeah. Will there be requirements for thermostats to be listed? For instance, required features and functions.
So we have, our proposal is about the features that we think would be most important. But if you think some of the questions we asked are not important, then please comment and say you should leave them out because nobody cares. And if you think there's some other feature that you think is a lot more important than what is on that list, then please suggest that. You should also ask about this. So no, holiday scheduling is not on the list, but if you think it's especially important, then please suggest to add it.
Thank you. Next one. Is there a crossover matrix showing all changes or additions from and to the existing NLC requirements?
Well, there's a no, there's a table at the very end of the document that mentions all the changes, and they're also the changes are highlighted. So if you go through the draft and you look for the highlights, those are all the changes, except when we took the same text and just moved it to a different spot. As Jason was saying, when we took table 3 and changed that in the format, a lot of text moved around. But we only highlighted stuff where the content changed.
Thank you. We have a couple of long questions. I'm just screening them. So we have a scenario question. I have commissioned new construction for 10 years with integrated NLC and energy management systems. Typically, the lighting controls occupancy data is transmitted via JACE to the EMS. Watchstopper usually sets this up and verifies integration with the HVAC controls rep. Is this eligible? I guess this is speaking to the without writing code, if this scenario would qualify.
Um, so if the lighting controls occupancy gets to the EMS and then it gets through the EMS over to a thermostat, and then there's a so the question is how to verify that it's easy. So we want to see the installation manual describing the steps. So if the installation manual describes how someone can easily do this, right? You install the lighting control system, you plug everything in, you follow these 3 steps, and then it's done. Um, that's the key question.
And it's mentioned here the manufacturer sets this up and verifies the integration with the HVAC controls rep.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. So if there's a factory rep doing the setup, then it probably doesn't qualify. Right. This is specifically asking, we're really interested in the systems where anything the factory rep needs to be do has been done ahead of time. Good point, Bhagwat. So that's probably the key point in that. Is there a factory rep setting it up? So we're looking for system for products where the factory rep can set the product up, and then people can go out and install thousands of these without reprogramming it every time, right? If the watt stopper, the factory rep sets it up, has to set up each individual system, then that's only going to be viable for a fairly large space to be done building by building. We're looking for a cookie cutter method where you can just plop it down in hundreds of buildings without really changing much.
Levin, can I give an example?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the types of thermostats we're looking at is a thermostat that has the ability to connect directly to the lighting network. So the example building with a Bluetooth NLC mesh lighting control network, a thermostat installed in that building then connects to that Bluetooth mesh network and is able to get occupancy data directly from those sensors on that network without going through an EMS system or a backnet network or another network at all. So that's the kind of solution, or one example of a kind of solution we're looking for as far as a simplified situation.
Thank you, Jason, for the additional context. Andrew, I would like to loop you in now. We have a summit question. Does the
Oh,
summit
goody.
allow showcasing NLC solutions by the sponsors?
I'm sorry, can you read that again?
Does the summit allow showcasing NLC solutions by the sponsors?
Oh, yeah, we also are accepting exhibitors. So we have some limited exhibitor spots, and that information will be available on one of the links that we shared earlier. It is the one ending in sponsorship proposal. So take a look at that to understand the exhibitor options.
Thank you. I'll direct this one to you, Levin. What kind of feedback would the DLC be looking from distributors in the comment period?
Well, I guess, is the language clear? Does it, if we is the language clear? And if there's particular information that you would want to find on the QPL, what would that be? For instance, if we start tracking thermostats, is there key information you would need about the thermostat? But beyond that, just in general, is the language clear and unambiguous where everybody can agree on whether it applies to a product or not?
Thank you. We have another scenario question. I used to work for a manufacturer, and we were able to take one-to-many sensors and send the data via BACnet or API to HVAC. We had separate graphic user interfaces, but we used the standard BAC zoning to talk to each other. Does that meet the requirements?
Please provide a comment. So yeah, it doesn't meet the way it's written now. If your impression was that that was really easy to do, um, especially if the API um, was a canned API, you know, where you didn't have to reprogram the API for every new building, um, then that might qualify. Uh, so if you think that's a really good way to do it, then please consider how should we change the language to make room for that. On the other hand, um, it if a if the API needs to be reprogrammed for every new building, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something easier than that.
Thank you. Is the DLC already working with commercial HVAC thermostat manufacturers on a proposed solution?
So yes, this initiative started from the project at the MW Connect headquarters last year that Nia has been running, working with network thermostats. Um, at the time they started last year, they were using a prototype device, but they've recently released a product that is available now. Um, from network thermostats. We've spoken with a few other thermostat manufacturers that I believe there's other solutions coming very soon. That's the one I know about already, but I'm expecting by this fall we expect to have two or three, and depending on exactly how these requirements are written, we might have 5 or 10. Ideally, the best case would be that we have some small number, say but still large enough that programs can build a program around it, right? If we only have 2 or 3 products, that's not really enough for incentive programs to design a program around. So that's something to think about as you look through these requirements. Are we making enough space to have enough products to build an incentive program? But still, are we holding true to the vision of having a system that is easy enough to scale and install across hundreds of buildings without reprogramming in every building?
I just want to jump in here a little bit. Along that line, I just want to reiterate that all network lighting control systems are eligible for listing. They meet the requirements. In this case, the thermostats, we are looking for thermostats that, again, directly talk to a lighting network as an opportunity to highlight that capability in small to medium building contexts. The standard practice for integration currently, through an EMS in a large supported building or a large organization, it's currently supported by the NLC QPL, and we want to see that happen as well. We're also trying to add support for small and medium buildings to achieve that same solution.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll also mention in the working group in January and February, it became clear that uh, restricting this whole idea to just thermostats that connect directly without a gateway, that would probably be too small a market. And so one of the reported questions is, does the thermostat require a gateway? Which we're expecting that should enable more products to qualify, and hopefully between those two groups, the ones that connect directly plus the ones that go through a gateway, then hopefully we'll have enough products that incentive programs can build incentives around this group of thermostats. Um, so yeah, we're interested in both thermostats connecting directly to the lighting controls and also thermostats that can easily go through a gateway and then get over to the HVAC system.
Thank you, Levin. The next one. How should manufacturers demonstrate compliance to qualify for integration?
Um, Good question. So, acceptable documentation will be a product manual, like a user's manual or an installation guide that clearly states the thermostat manufacturer and the model number and describes the configuration steps. And also, more on this topic this summer, we'll present a webinar specifically around the application process with more details, but that's the general idea.
Thank you. I will give it a moment if people are still processing. We still have time, and we are happy to revisit any slide if that helps spark a discussion. So feel free to comment in the question pane.
Looks like we just got a couple more.
Yeah. For performance contract-based programs, does this integration manual offer ways to quantify payback with KWH or only via the table that showed watts? I guess this is for you, Jason.
Yeah, I think this question is combining a couple things. The short answer I'm going to say is no, but the reason is quantifying payback is a little bit beyond the scope of the NLC QPL. But I will follow up with the questioner here just to confirm that's what they mean, and that to explore how we can add support for that feature later on.
Thank you. Next question. What is the typical number of listed devices sufficient for utility programs to write incentive programs? You had mentioned two cases, 2 to 3 product or 10 plus products. Is either of these sufficient?
Well, it seems like it varies by program. With 2 to 3 products, we might get 1 or 2 programs, maybe. With 10 plus products, we'll get more programs. It sounds like with more than 12 or 15 products, that uh, lots of programs will feel confident in the market, and there'll be a lot of programs. So it it's not a one size fits all. A few a few efficiency programs are very interested in supporting cutting edge technology, and they might uh, make something, at least a pilot, with just a few products. But most of them are going to want more than that. um, uh, 10 plus seems like a good number where lots of people will be confident in that products will be available in their region and they can go ahead and build a program.
Thank you. Related questions around program scheme. So, will utility rebates be split between the lighting manufacturers, lighting control fixtures, and the thermostat manufacturers?
That will depend on program design. At the moment, most utility rebates have a separate rebate for the lighting controls and a separate rebate for the thermostat. And then some of them have what they call a comprehensive program, where if more than one building system is touched in a single building, then there's a bonus. And I think the bonus is usually paid to the first contractor who got through the door and then brought the others along. But that will vary by utility program, and I'm hoping that if this idea catches hold, then utility programs will start to create systems, incentive programs for this combination. And then when they do that, they'll need to figure out how to parse out the rebates.
Thank you. We have one more. I guess this is from the thermostat table. Should we list every possible data the system supports or just the ones relevant to energy management use cases?
Uh, so we plan to ask specifically about the parameters that are listed in the draft question about just those that data. So if you think we should expand or contract the list of data besides occupancy that a thermostat might receive, then please request that change in the comment form if you think there's other parameters that might be either more important or some of those are less important.
Thank you. Will there be a draft 2?
Uh, no, this is a single comment period, so we're going to receive these comments and then modify it and then publish it. That was the reason we held the working group in January and February to kind of get a good first draft that we could bring into this more public comment period. And we also gathered some other feedback from a few other interested parties beforehand.
Thank you. That's all I see so
Oh,
far.
wait, there's one I'm seeing. Expectation of HVAC thermostat manufacturer to integrate seamlessly to NLC is a long shot as there are many wireless protocols and no standard. Is this practical? So, the good news is that Bluetooth NLC has created a protocol for sharing occupancy data, specifically with thermostats. So we have several lighting control systems on the on the qualified products list that use Bluetooth NLC. So if any of those products implement this profile uh, for sharing occupancy data with a thermostat, then all of those systems will be able to work with a thermostat that uses the same Bluetooth NLC protocol. Beyond that, there are several systems on our list that use Zigbee 3.0 and a bunch of systems that use an ocean. And so it is conceivable that someone could design a thermostat to work with either of those wireless protocols and then interface directly. Now, beyond that, we did leave open the possibility of going through a gateway. So anybody can come on to a internet gateway from the thermostat onto the Ethernet and then over to the NLC system. Anybody with a gateway can do that. So then the question becomes, has someone taken the time to update the API from the thermostat side and from the lighting control side so that those APIs are already set up and so they're seamlessly integrated. As soon as they find each other in the gateway, they're all ready to go and nobody has to do much programming. They can just run the user interface to get the thing up and running.
Thank you. Let's give it a couple more seconds. Let's see if anything is coming in.
I'm, I'm also seeing a question about the public comment form. I think that should still be in is that in the chat?
It is in the chat, and Lauren sent
Yeah.
a answer to them directly.
Lauren
But
added the link.
Oh, great.
yeah, I can also just pull that up. You'll find this. You find this when you go to the link at the bottom of this slide that Lauren shared, and then just use the buttons to download the requirements and the comment form. It is seeming to me like we're at the end here. So if anyone is typing a question, trying to phrase it right, maybe raise your hand and stop us. But otherwise, I'd say that we have gone as far as we can go for today, and we're really looking forward to receiving your comments. So keep in mind that you can access this presentation. I've got the instructions up here on the screen. So it'll be in the news and events under on-demand webinars. So it'll be the recording and the PDF of the slides. Thanks, Kate, for the clapping, and everyone, thank you for being here. Have a good day.